The speech therapist, she gave me 6 lessons and then disappeared. I mean, what can they teach you in 6 lessons, may I ask you? And it may as well have taught you nothing, it was a waste of time. So I had a pay girl to do it, and she taught me to speak reasonably well.
I didn't stay in the hospital very long. I wasn't really kind of assessed much.
The hardest part was trying to sort out all the benefits and get help for John's speech therapy, physiotherapy. Just wasn't there. And I took John in his wheelchair because he said, we had a few words, and he looked at him and he said, I can see you're in a wheelchair, Mr. Squares, but how well can you really walk?
Well, I'll tell you, I would never ever try and fill in an attendance allowance form on my own.
The attendance allowance form is an absolute nightmare.
They could make the form simpler. You have to give the worst scenario. That's it. And when you're doing it yourself, you don't like doing that because you don't think you've got one.
I'm looking after my mother here, and I shouldn't be going through all this aggravation and heartache.
You see, my carer gets an allowance for me, but when she becomes of pensionable age, she loses the carer's allowance completely and has to rely on a pension then. I would be dead completely if it weren't for Jen, my carer. I wouldn't be able to live without her.
He used to go to 2-day centres, but they cost near £140 each of them for the month. It was just too much money. He had to pay, I think he had to pay about £5 for each day, which was good, and then they changed it.
Nobody seems to help. There don't seem to be anybody I can really turn to for help.
And they had, a plan worked out of exercises, what they were going to do. So, but they don't stay very long.
And I feel that I'm not helping him enough, but you don't know which way to turn, really. You don't seem to get the follow-up help,
I'm having a lot of bother with physiotherapy. I can't get it. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, you've had your number of visits. I don't think I can do, no.
You're all these charters for carers and this, that, and I've never had any help.
You were supposed to have examination once a year. Nobody been to me.
I do go through social services for funding. You can just pay money each week to the centre, but I thought about it and I thought, if I do that, it's going to wipe me off the social services, off their list or whatever you like to call it.
Although my wife, I think, she's now called officially a carer, but I don't know what. I don't think we get any money for that.
I've also got a stair lift, which I had to pay for myself. If I need any help, I have to go to social services, and that's expensive.
They stopped my housing benefit. They stopped my council tax, and they said that is because you have got property. Doing a lot of cooking myself, and being an economical with the electric and all things like that.
He hasn't got a social worker. He's never seen one. So we've had to definitely, it's been all the voluntary associations that we've been able to find things out.
And I do have a lot more help now. I've looked and found it for myself. It doesn't just fall on your doorstep.
Am I entitled to anything? No, I've no idea. I didn't know carers got any help.
But if there was just one coordinator or advocate for the carer and the strokee, would be great.